You have freedom of choice, but the freedom of choice that we have is not the same freedom like you would think it is. In a secular world, which is in essence the whole world outside of Torah, they believe that the freedom of choice that they have is that they could simply do whatever they want. That's not actual free choice. The free choice that we have is not really free. It's choice, but rather not free choice. Meaning, if, let's say, for example, somebody goes and works for the mob. The mob tells them, the mafia boss tells them, listen, every day I'm going to pay you $25,000 a head. You kill this guy, I tell you, I'm going to give you $25,000. You don't kill the guy, I'm going to kill you. That's not really free choice. That's choice. That's closer to Torah than actual what we have. Because what we have is reward and punishment. If we do good, we will get good. If we do bad, we will get bad. Sometimes the good takes time to get it. Sometimes the bad takes time to get it. It's not immediate. Sometimes it looks like the evil people get good, and sometimes it looks like the good people, the righteous people, get bad. That's why the Torah tells us amten. Amten meaning wait. Wait to see the whole equation. Don't think that Hashem dances to your tune. Hashem gives reward and punishment based on His own specific timing. I'm going to give you an example of something that looks terrible. There's a woman in the Torah named Dinah. Dinah was the daughter of Leah. Now, what is the name? Each one of the names in the Torah has a meaning. What does Dinah mean? Dinah comes from the root din. Din means judgment. So the sages say, what judgment have to do with Dinah? It says, when Leah was pregnant with her 7th baby, it was a boy. She already had 6 boys. She was pregnant with another boy. But then she said to Hashem, Hashem, please have some mercy. Even the 2 maidens, even the 2 other wives of Yaakov had 2 boys. I had 6. You're supposed to have 12 tribes. Rachel didn't have anything. So at least give her at least as many boys as the maidens, as the maidservants. She pleaded to Hashem in mercy for her sister. At the same time, Rachel was also pregnant for the first time. But she had a girl. She didn't have a boy. She had a girl. Hashem says, Dinah, you decreed for mercy for your sister to give her a boy. I'm going to give her your boy. I'm going to give her your boy, and you're going to get her girl. So Leah got Dinah as the daughter. She got a daughter. And Rachel got the boy. Now what happened with Dinah? Dinah later on went to see what the non-Jewish girls were doing. And Hashem punished her, had one of these goyim rape her. And the picture looked horrible. Why? Because after all, Dinah was a blessing in disguise. After all, what happened? Why did Dinah come to the world? Because Leah had mercy for her sister Rachel. Yet she had mercy on her. Hashem says, okay, you want her to have 2 boys? I'll give her your boy. So she had mercy, she should be rewarded. What happens? The daughter is born, the daughter grows up, she gets raped. And you have it in the Torah for the rest of eternity. Every person who learns Torah is going to learn about this woman named Dinah that was raped. I mean, it's a horrible, horrible story, so it looks like a punishment. Hashem says, Amten. Wait, be patient. Let me show you. Let me show you what happens. Now, because she was raped, she was embarrassed of the child. She was embarrassed of the child that was born. So she got the advice of Yaakov Avinu, her grandfather, and Yaakov says to her, it doesn't make sense for you to constantly live this embarrassment for the rest of your life. Why don't you take this child and send her to someone we know in Egypt? Send her to this rich family in Egypt. Don't worry, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to write her a medallion that she knows that she comes from our family, but at least you're not going to have to see this for the rest of your life. And that's what Dinah did. She sent the girl to Egypt. Years pass. That daughter ended up marrying who? Yosef Tzaddik, also her uncle. She was the only woman in Egypt that Yosef was allowed to marry. And from her, from this marriage, came two boys, Ephraim and Menashe. And Yaakov says to Yosef, Ephraim and Menashe, Reuven and Shimon Yuli. Ephraim and Menashe are going to be like Reuven and Shimon. They're going to be like two tribes. Why? Because this starts originally from the original Mesirut Nefesh of my wife. My wife sacrificed our own boy because she had mercy. Hashem rewarded her, but it looked ugly in the beginning. It looked really ugly. There was a rape. They were giving the kid up for adoption. It looked horrible. But Hashem was just telling us, wait, let me show you how beautiful it is in the end. In the end, you gave up one son, you got two. You gave up one son from the tribes, you got two sons. You got two tribes now. So that was the reward in the end. That's our problem. Our problem is that we think that whatever we see today is the end. When people get into a depression, B'ezrat Hashem, none of you ever get into one. Why do they get into a depression? Because they believe that their current miserable circumstance will never end. They think that their current sadness, whether it's from a breakup, a financial loss, a disease of some kind, whatever misery that they're going through, which is most likely right, that it's miserable, it's horrible, it's terrible, but they think it'll always be like this. That's the mistake. I promise you, it will not always be like this. It will not always be like this. At some point, it will change. At some point, that misery will change if you allow it to. If you allow it to. If you move on. If you do something about it. But if you keep staring at the wall and cry to yourself to sleep every single night, then you're right. It's not actually going to stay the same anyway. It'll actually get worse. So the point is that when people get to a point of suicide, for example, which is, by the way, a rich person's problem, because statistically speaking, more rich people commit suicide than poor people. The reason why is because rich people that go into depression, until now they thought that money can solve all their problems. When they realize that it can't, they go into a depression and they think that, oh, if money can't solve my problem, then nothing can solve my problem. And they feel like their current misery will always be that. And they lose hope very quickly. And that's what the Torah tries to tell us. Sometimes the picture, the current picture, looks horrible. Don't lose hope. More time will pass and things will change. Same thing on the opposite end. Sometimes the picture looks beautiful. You're printing money. You're making so much money. You have the perfect wife. Your kids all look like just amazing. The kids are great. The wife is great. Money's great. Health is great. Everything is great. Hashem says, hey, take it easy. Remember, it's all a circle. There's ups and there's downs in life. Don't think that life is always going to be like this. You have to plan accordingly. You have to plan accordingly. You cannot always think that everything's going to be like this, good or bad forever. Things change. And that's what the Torah gives us as an instruction set, to simply not lose hope, because things do change. Good and bad happen in everybody's life. If you live long enough, you'll experience both of them many, many times. The key is to listen to the instructions and know that, oh, this current time, whatever it is temporary. Could be for a week, could be for a month, could be for a year, could be for 5 years. But eventually it'll change. And keep going.